friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Kim. I am an author illustrator, and here on this platform I like talking about books. What is going on here? So I decided to try a 6 a.m. morning routine for an entire week. I already filmed everything, so this is me just making like an intro, and then at the very end of the video you're gonna see an outro, which is me again. I'm gonna film the outro right after I film the intro. But I decided to do a 6 a.m. reading morning routine to see how I don't know, would like it, to see how I would feel, to see if I could read faster. I've seen a lot of folks try the 6 a.m., the 5 a.m. reading morning routines, and some of them I feel like get like reading superpowers and they can get through books a lot quicker. And I mean, listen, it's not about getting through the books quicker, but for me, I've fallen behind on my TBR and I really wanted to make my goal for this year. So I was like, let me try a 6 a.m. morning routine and see how I feel about it, see if it works. Am I gonna get superpowers? Am I gonna finish like 10 books in 1 week? What's gonna happen? What's all the fuss about? I wanna try these morning reading routines. So I did. And I'm gonna share all my thoughts with you all at the very end of the video. But if you're interested in me trying out more of these reading routines, or just, I don't know, if you like these kind of videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. That way the YouTube gods, the YouTube algorithm can push my videos out to more folks who are interested in these type of videos. So we are left wondering, is she going to be able to do an entire 6 a.m. reading schedule? Is she going to complete it? Is she going to read 20 books in 1 week? Is she going to get superpowers? Is she going to have one too many cups of coffee than she should be having? Those are all great questions, you guys, and you won't find out until you reach the end of the video. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy the video, and I will see you at the very end. Friends, it is several hours later, and my first day of waking up at 6 a.m. to do some reading went actually very well. The good thing is that I am a morning person, so I don't mind waking up early, but 6 a.m. for sure is my threshold. I have waken up before at 5 a.m. to just get some little things done, but I do not do that unless it's super necessary. So I feel like 6 a.m. works perfectly for me. So I've been reading The Witchery by S. Isabel. Y'all already know that I love witch books, and after reading a very disappointing witch book, which you will hear me talk about in my November wrap-up video, I just had to pick up another witch book because I felt like I needed the witchy vibes, because the last book that I read about witches did not do it just did not work for me. This book is about a group of witches who are friends. Well, it starts off with 3 of them being friends, and then I think the 3 of them, and then she joins them a little bit later because they're trying to come together to create some sort of spell in order to defeat this like annual or yearly thing that happens in this world, in their town, where wolves come and like attack one of the witches, or they have to take a witch, something like that. I still haven't comprehended really well what the big issue is. It says, with the haunting season approaching, wolves will soon rise from the swamp to kill, and the humans and witches must work together to survive the yearly onslaught. However, the history between humans and witches is long and bloodied, and with the current truce hard won and hanging in the balance. And this year the stakes couldn't be higher as 2 boys from Hammersmith School prepare to make their first sacrifices to the witches in exchange for protection. But when students start turning up dead, Iris, Talia, Jayla, and Logan realize they'll have to harness their powers and stop the witches themselves. Yet old dangers lie in wait, and the cost to break the curse may be greater than any witch or human could ever know. So it sounds really good. So far I am enjoying it. I did start this book last night. I only read like a few pages just to kind of get introduced to the characters. My only thing with this book is that it does have a variety of POVs. So each chapter starts with like a different character POV. Like this one's from a different one. So I mean, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about that. I like it and then I don't like it, just because you kind of have to keep up with a variety of different POVs and it just can get a little confusing. The story is good. It does start off like around the time of Halloween season. Now this makes me regret not having picked up this book a lot sooner, like before, like during October, but I was just reading a lot of books then, so I'm still glad I'm getting to this one. So far my 6 a.m. reading day went really well. I am ready for my day. I'm gonna get some work done and I will see you guys tomorrow again at 6 in the morning. Hi friends, another day reading The Witchery by S. Isabel. It is much later in the day. It is actually 1:30 p.m. I didn't get a chance to give you guys all an update about what is happening in The Witchery because once my timer went off, I had to get ready because I had to jump into a publicity Zoom with my publicist and my publisher for my book that is set to come out in May. I shared all about my book in my most recent writing vlog. If you're interested in some writing content, I am working on a whole series about writing. But yes, I do have a book up for pre-order. All the details are down below. I'll have everything linked down below. But anyways, I had to jump into a publicity call, and after that I just got into working straight away. I am working on some Patreon stuff for 2024. I have some really cool, exciting things happening, which I will make a separate video about. But anyways, The Witchery. I am a little over 100 pages in. I'm a pretty slow reader, you guys. But so far, let's trace back a little bit. This 6 a.m. Today's my second day 6 a.m. reading routine. I woke up actually kind of sleepy today, and it was kind of hard getting out of bed to read. I don't know if it's because at 6 a.m. it's still pretty dark outside and then it's cold, so you kind of just want to stay snuggled in bed. But one thing that's been helping me and that helped me a lot lately was just to kind of romanticize the morning. It's chilly, it's cold. I put on a cozy warm sweater. I put on some cozy socks. I turned on the heater. I threw in my blanket and I just snuggled on my couch and just started reading. So far I am liking it. I feel like I am not having any problems concentrating. I feel like I can keep up with what is going on in the story even if it's that early in the day when my brain is still kind of waking up. So The Witchery. I am liking the book, but I'm still trying to formulate exactly how I feel. I'm not too deep into the book to where I know exactly where I stand. I actually went on Goodreads and I started reading some reviews that doesn't have any spoilers. And a lot of folks are also mentioning that it's kind of hard following a variety of different POVs. I know yesterday I mentioned that the only thing with this book, it was kind of hard for me to get into it because every chapter is a different POV. I think we're following about 6 different POVs, and so I'm having a hard time building a relationship with the characters because there's just so many. And I do like the fact that we're getting a little history, or we're getting a little bit more personal with each character, but it's just a lot of POVs to get personal with and explore who they are. However, though, one thing I am really liking about this book, it's the atmosphere. I think this definitely has all the witchy vibes that the last current witchy book that I read didn't. So like I mentioned yesterday, we're following a group of coven members, and I believe they're called the Red Three. Well, it was 3, but now there's a 4th one. And each of these coven members is sort of navigating their own personal issues, but they're all trying to work together to battle a much major issue that they have. So we're having a POV through each one of the coven members, as well as 2 other boys who are not witches, I believe. It's a lot of POVs to say the least, but so far it's pretty atmospheric. It's giving me all the witchy vibes that I love in a book, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So with that being said, friends, I will see you again tomorrow at 6 a.m. It is Wednesday today. It is a few hours later. It is 8:44 a.m. I am feeling a little bit sleepy, but that's because I've been going to sleep pretty late, which is not good when you're doing a 6 a.m. reading routine challenge. I need to go to sleep earlier, that's for sure. I feel like when I was reading today, my brain couldn't really concentrate. I don't really have an update for the book right now. Everything's pretty much still going how it's going. I am at a place in the book where it feels like it is moving along now. I feel like the whole beginning of the book started like in the middle of things happening, so it was really hard getting into the book, but now I feel like I'm getting it and I know where everything is, what is taking place. So that was a little bit confusing, but again, I still have the same feelings as I mentioned in the previous days, so we'll see. Right now I'm gonna start working on another video that I have planned, an October wrap-up video, which you guys will probably see after this video goes up. So I'm gonna start filming that. Time to get my day started. I already have my little cup of coffee with my favorite mug. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow at 6 a.m. Welcome back, you guys. As you all seen the footage, I did not complete a week's worth of 6 a.m. reading. It's a bummer and I was a bit disappointed, but honestly, you guys, okay, let me back up first. I did finish reading The Witchery. I did that off camera, but I didn't do it at 6 a.m. in the morning. I think the biggest lesson that I've learned from this sort of reading challenge is if I'm gonna wake up that early to read and my brain needs to be in reading mode, I need to make sure that whatever book I'm reading at that time, the book is actually going to be entertaining, it's going to hold my attention, and it's a book that I'm super excited about. Now, with that being said, I was excited about this book, but unfortunately it didn't turn out to be a great book. Personally, for me, I had a hard time getting into the book when I first started reading it because it was a little bit confusing. We are following 4 friends who are all witches and then 2 additional characters in the book. And I thought that the storyline was great. Like, we're following this group of friends who are trying to break this curse about this wolf that comes every year to snatch and kill a witch or a couple of witches in this world. I thought it was interesting. I thought that was cool, but it was way too many POVs, you guys. And my brain was not fully awake for all of that. Okay, so that's the first lesson. The first lesson is to make sure if I'm gonna do another 6 a.m. reading routine, make sure it's a book that I'm super hyped about. Again, I was excited for this, but I wouldn't say I was a book that I was super anticipating. It was just kind of part of my fall TBR list that I wanted to read. I was excited about it, but I wasn't super hyped about it. So that's the first lesson. Make sure I'm reading a book, especially if that's early in the morning, a book that I'm super anticipating, because at least my brain, especially that early in the morning, is going to be super excited about this book that I've been super excited about and anticipating. Now, the second lesson that I've learned with this 6 a.m. reading routine for an entire week was you can't put a time to reading. You just can't put a time to reading. I wish I could, and I wish I could be that person that schedules reading into their everyday lives and has particular time frames when they want to read, but I am a mood reader, and I don't just mean a mood reader depending on like what kind of mood and vibes the book is, and that's what I'm gonna read because that's the vibe and mood that I want. But I mean, I'm a mood reader where like I need to be wanting to read. I need to be in the mood to want to read. And so sometimes, yes, 6 a.m. will be perfect for me to read because my brain is up and ready and functioning and I'm okay to read. And then other times I'm gonna be like, no, I don't wanna read right now. It's way too early. I wanna still be sleeping. With that being said, read when you feel like reading, because what I've found out, even especially with that 1 week challenge, was that I was forcing myself to read at one point, and then that forcedness makes you kind of just bitter towards reading, and then you're just gonna have a whole bad vibe towards reading, and we don't want that because we're book lovers and we actually love reading. So read when you feel like reading. Now, the third lesson that I've learned with this challenge is that for me, reading will always be a sort of hobby, something that I turn to escape, to decompress, to relax. And I don't like tying challenges to something that I love so dearly and that I use as a tool for my mental health. So I personally don't wish to tie any sort of challenges to reading. Of course, it's okay if you want to meet like a goal and stuff like that. Like, I personally was doing this challenge to meet a particular goal, but then I don't know, I feel like then with these challenges or routines, you kind of feel like it is something that you're forcing yourself to do. Otherwise, you're sort of failing if you don't do it or you don't stick to your routines, and that's so bad of you. And I don't know, that's just kind of how it goes down in my head. Like, if I am creating sort of routines around reading in particular, something that is so special to me and a part of helping my mental health, then I don't want to tie it to that, because reading is something that I pick up to have fun, to escape, to decompress, to relax. And I don't want to have to beat myself down whenever I can't meet those routines. So if you want to have a sort of reading routine, do not force yourself to read, especially when you just cannot show up to that routine. Like the last 2 days of this 6 a.m. reading routine, I was like, I cannot show up. At this point, I'm like forcing myself, and it could have been just because I wasn't really feeling the story, because I usually am a morning reader and I like waking up early in the morning in general, but for some reason, for this particular routine, I felt like I'm just forcing myself at this point, and I'm not liking how I feel. I was like, no. I'm gonna finish this at my own pace, at my own time, when I am able to pick it up again and go from there. sure enough, I ended up finishing it like the next 2 days or so. And yeah, one of the biggest things I feel was that I just wasn't feeling the story. So, but also I just don't like being tied down to challenges like that or sort of like routines. I like flexibility, doing it whenever the heck I feel like doing it. So yeah, that was my experience. But hey, if you're someone that could stick to a routine and hold yourself accountable and do it, and that is what's right to you, do what feels what's right for you. We all work differently, our brains function differently, and that's perfectly normal, and that is a-okay. So yeah, that was my experience. So I thought I would share that with you all. But with that being said, friends, let me know if you've tried any sort of reading challenges or routines or what works for you. I would love to hear from you all. I really appreciate you guys watching and engaging with my videos. It has really been helping out my channel. Thank you again so much for watching, for supporting my channel. Please remember to engage with this video. Hit the like button if you would like to see more videos like this. Subscribe, say hi in the comments. And until then, friends, take care and bye for now.